less than 1 minute.
I can get you like a little flag.
You need a buzzer.
Yeah.
Put a buzzer on your seat, she'll press it.
I
don't you?
I have two agendas. Are you missing an agenda?
It's mine. I got 7 o'clock.
Okay, Mayor, whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glassboro for June 25th, 2024 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2024, which schedule is posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board as well as the Borough website and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 6, 2024.
Thank you. Can we all rise and salute the flag, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Casabone.
Present.
Mrs. Garlick.
Here.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Spence.
Here.
Mr. Melandro.
Here.
Mr. Scafidi.
Present.
Mr. Brunimer. And let the record reflect that Mr. Brown is excused for this evening.
Thank you. We have no proclamations or presentations this evening, so at this time I'll turn the meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have a public hearing tonight on ordinance 2416. That's an ordinance releasing, extinguishing, and vacating the rights of the Borough of Glassboro, County of Gloucester, and a sanitary sewer easement located on Block 389.02, Lot 18.01, also known as 601 North Main Street in the Borough of Glassboro. Council moves for the public portion.
Move the public portion be open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinance as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a
Mr. Mayor, hold on. Did you want to speak about this ordinance, ma'am?
This is an ordinance about the Simone property. It's on Main Street, and we are giving it an easement for sanitary sewer. That's what it's for. You're welcome. Vacating the easement.
Okay, there is a motion
I'll second it.
and there is a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Casabone.
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick.
Yes.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
4.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 14th, 2024, and May 28th, 2024, as well as the closed executive session minutes of May 14th, 2024, and May 28th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Karen, can we go over communications, please?
Yes, Mayor. I have 2 items under communication. One is a letter of resignation from Melanie Stewart of the Creative Glassboro Committee. The other item is a letter of retirement for Robert McKeever of the Glassboro Highway Department.
I'll make a motion to accept those communications. Also thanking Mr. McKeever for his years of service with the borough, and a special thanks to Melanie Stewart as I served with her on Creative Glassboro. She was instrumental in bringing a lot of arts and programming to the downtown district recently.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We'll move to committee reports, and I will begin with Council President Miller.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to thank our highway department and water and sewer department. We've had water main breaks, we've had a lot of trees and issues with storms going on, and just want to thank them for their tireless effort in trying to get the borough back to where it should be. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilman Casabon, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm in receipt of the May monthly report for the police department, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilwoman Garlick?
Thank you, Mayor.
You're
I
welcome.
wanted to report that we had a very successful golf tournament for the Park and Rec. Not only did we get a chance to raise money for a great cause, but people had a lot of fun as well. We'll have the actual numbers very soon, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Councilman Halter?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I'm in receipt of the water and sewer report for the month of May as well. We still have one open position that we're working on to fill. The water and sewer has also been fixing a number of water main leaks and problems that have arisen lately, so I thank them for all the work. Also, we have a lot of newer folks in the audience here tonight, just to make mention that the water and sewer continues to make replacements on our lead pipe and galvanized pipe replacements along the Delsey Drive corridor, most specifically right now. It's an initiative that was brought up by the state DEP to make sure that all lead and or galvanized service pipes are replaced into houses. So we're continuing to do that on a 10-year mark right now. So.
Thank you very much, sir. And Councilwoman Spence?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm in receipt of the May construction report. All seems in order. We're going in leaps and bounds. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilwoman Spence. For unfinished business, we had a resident come in last meeting and asked about a traffic study down Deptford Road and Pennsylvania for speeding cars. That traffic study was done. It did not meet the threshold for speed bumps. However, the police department has put a speed indicator light out there now. It is currently on New York Road, and the police will also increase patrols. In addition to that, we will repeat the study in September once the students are back. And that is the report on that. And with that, Karen, could you bring us into new business, please?
Yes, Mayor. I am requesting to go out to bid for commercial truck parts for the Glassboro Highway Department.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'll ask for the engineer's report, please, Mark.
Yes, good evening. Brief update, townhouse projects over at Camelot and Aura continuing. Progress are being made both sides. For that, with the side on Richwood Crossings, they could be completed by the end of the year with those subject to sales, so that'll be getting worked out. High Street Townhouse project down as you go to Williamstown is nearly complete. They're doing all their punch list stuff, so they'll be paving later on this summer. For those, you can see the storage building making progress down where the old Lycios was on South Delsey Drive. That's continuing. They're doing a lot of work inside, so have not received a date yet from them when they'll be looking to move in. The improvements done over by Matt Platt for the Lycios Bakery. They got all the paving done, or most all the paving on their portion. Still have to get things striped and that, but they're making progress there. They'll have to get their plans submitted to get the inside of the building done, but that's underway. Tonight, for your consideration, we have the bid results for the Bow Boulevard project. That's repaving Bow Boulevard from Carpenter Street down to the railroad tracks. Everything will be restriped, remarked, things along those. A little bit of curb work, not too much. So we're looking to get this turned around pretty quickly. So subject to your approval, we'll get the DOT and the contractor in there. We're looking to get that done in late July before all the students come in, and that's fully funded by the DOT for that work. Taco Bell has all their items complete. They're in the planning board, or into the code office to get signed off. For there, they're going to be putting in a new bypass lane or an additional order lane in at their Taco Bell facility there. So that's minor work, but they'll be starting that later this summer. Raising Cane, you see the fence coming up around the Rite Aid. Rite Aid building will be coming down, and the Raising Cane restaurant will be coming in. Their plans are we'll be signing those off this week, subject to a few planning board requirements and fees. They'll be ready to get building permits, so that'll be underway. And as touched upon earlier this evening, the DeSimone Builders is reconstructing the old business office across from Matt Blatt. They've been doing interior modifications for at least 6 months, putting a lot of money back in the building. They have a parking lot that was approved by the planning board to add some additional parking in that location. And those plans are nearly complete. We're waiting for one last item tonight, the resolution, ordinance to be adopted for the easement, and one item for the county, and they'll be able to start their parking lot improvements also. And that's all I have at the moment.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Anybody have any questions for Mark? Thank you again, Mark. At this time, I'll turn the meeting again over to our Borough Solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On our consent agenda, we have the following resolution action items, beginning with Resolution 178, authorizing Robert M. Sapio Real Estate Appraisal and Consulting LLC to conduct a real estate appraisal of property identified as Block 27, Lot 6.01, and Block 27, Lot 8, on the tax map of the Borough of Glassboro. Resolution 179, awarding contract for a camera truck for the Glassboro Water and Sewer Department in the Borough of Glassboro, H.A. Dehart. Resolution 180, authorizing renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for the Borough of Glassboro, 2024-2025. Resolution 181, authorizing release of safety and stabilization guarantee for 410 Delsey Drive, Block 8, Lots 8, 2, and 3, in the amount of $19,082.75, and performance guarantee perimeter landscape buffer in the amount of $16,760 upon the posting of the required maintenance bond for the Borough of Glassboro, entity AB3 LLC. 182, granting approval for Form B Straga Court Townhouses, Block 413, Lot 11, in the Borough of Glassboro. 183, authorizing purchase of a 2023 Caterpillar 317 hydraulics excavator for the Borough of Glassboro Water and Sewer Department to Foley, Inc., under a National Cooperative Purchasing System Sourcewell. Resolution 184, rescinding Resolution 16224, authorizing purchase of one 2025 International 4x2 chassis for the Borough of Glassboro Highway Department to H.A. Dehart and Son under Sourcewell National Cooperative Purchasing Agreement in the Borough of Glassboro. Resolution 185, resolution authorizing purchase of a 2025 International 4x2 chassis for the Borough of Glassboro Highway Department to Ascendance Truck Center under a National Cooperative Purchasing System Sourcewell. Resolution 186, awarding contract for Joseph L. Bow Boulevard road improvements for the Borough of Glassboro to South State, Inc. Resolution 187, resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Glassboro referring an ordinance amendment to Chapter 379, rental housing, and Chapter 107, development regulations and zoning, to the Planning Board pursuant to NJSA 40:55D64. Resolution 188, resolution to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Hampton Boulevard roadway improvement project in the Borough of Glassboro. And Resolution 189, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, appointing conditional redeveloper and authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding. They are resolutions this evening on our consent agenda. Also, for those purposes noted under each one, council so moves for approval. Roll call vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Casabon?
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick?
Approve.
Mr. Halter?
4 with an abstention on 187.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And tonight we have for introduction 3 ordinances on first reading by title. I'll read all 3, and the motion would be to introduce them. The first being 2418, an ordinance of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, New Jersey, accepting a perpetual sanitary sewer line and roadway easement from 695 Delsey Drive, LLC, and authorizing execution of an easement agreement. Ordinance 2419, an ordinance authorizing easement agreement for 11 East High Street and ordinance 2420, an ordinance of the Borough of Glassboro amending Chapter 379 of the Borough Code entitled Rental Housing and Chapter 107 entitled Development Regulation and Zoning. The motion would be to introduce those three ordinances by title only for publication, public hearing for July 23rd. Council so moves. Roll call vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick?
Yes.
Mr. Halter?
4 with an abstention on 2420.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries. Before I ask for a motion to open the meeting up to the public, it's been brought to my attention that there are a number of residents from our Chestnut Ridge development here about a proposed roadway. I would like to tell you, number one, thank you for coming out. Thank you for reaching out. I listened to the first presentation, and I can tell you that all of the information wasn't given. You were not given all of the information, in my opinion, to get a clear understanding of what exactly this roadway is. The borough has reached out to the county because of those concerns and asked for the county to again hold a meeting so that those residents, all of you residents, can get all of your questions answered. There will be representatives from the county there on July the 10th, and you will be able to get all of your questions answered there and to get a full scope on what the proposed plan truly is.
Yeah, it's at the high school.
Oh, and yes, I'm sorry, that meeting will be held in the auditorium at the high school, July 10th, and if I'm not mistaken,
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. So with that, I will entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Move the public portion be open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address mayor and council.
And for those members in the public, please note we do have rules and regulation related to the public portion. Most importantly, when you approach, if you would please identify yourself by name and address, and there is a 5-minute per person limitation. Thank you.
There's like an on-deck circle.
No,
or- I know
no,
how this works,
no.
so- All right, bear with me.
You're up.
Right.
You're up.
Used to teaching, not this. All right. My name is Denise Norton, and I live at 9 Franklin Road in the historic Chestnut Ridge neighborhood. I'm the treasurer and still current member of the Chestnut Ridge Civic Association and also the Chestnut Ridge Neighborhood Watch, respectively. Even though Ordinance 2417 was removed from tonight's agenda, I would like to voice my opposition and the opposition of others against that ordinance proposal, as well as Proposal C of the Rowan University Route 322 bypass project. As of today, there are literally hundreds of signatures on both online and written petitions, which we will present to you when Ordinance 2417 is heard. And many folks that I have personally had the opportunity to speak with have many strong feelings in their opposition, including me. The purpose for Proposal C of the bypass project was to increase pedestrian safety, but instead, this proposal presents a clear and present danger for those living on the Chestnut Ridge. Teller McCormick estimates 5,000 vehicles per day to utilize this proposed C pathway. This would allow larger volumes of vehicles, including larger commercial and hazmat vehicles, to turn directly into our residential neighborhood, away from the current path that was designed to handle this type of traffic. It would take 322 from its straight path with signals and crosswalks to a more curved path for pedestrians, or to a more curved path with limited sight distance. It does not offer a safer environment. I have walked to and from campus regularly near Girard and University, and it's dangerous now to cross without all the added traffic. If the stop sign wasn't there at Girard and University, it would be almost impossible to safely cross because it would be hard to see cars traveling down Girard and making the turn onto University. Rowan students living off campus know this too. There are some Rowan students really upset about these proposals being presented during the summer and have also expressed their deep concerns that these moves also came after Oprah was gutted by state law. Other residents and students alike asked whether any of the engineers or other decision makers physically got out to walk that same path, or did they just complete all these preliminaries using Google Earth? Questions were also raised about how many jaywalking violations were issued by campus and borough police in regards to the illegal crossing of pedestrians outside the proper crosswalks provided. And there's no guarantees actually as to how many homes or properties will need to be taken or altered as a result. They even could not guarantee that at the public portion of the proposal. There's an awful lot being proposed between the tree line at Rowan along Girard Road. You have the railroad track, the safe easement for the railroad operations, the new proposed two-lane Girard Road, the bypass lanes and shoulders, and of course, last but not least, the homes. Practicality tells you there's not a lot of room there, and there are families, some with young children, living in very close proximity to this. Everyone on the ridge has the right to a peaceful and, let's add, safe enjoyment of their homes, but this will take this right from them. Proposal C is environmentally unsound. The increased traffic will ultimately increase noise and air pollution. The Chestnut Ridge is home to the threatened eastern white pine, many of which have achieved Old World status, and there are trees of this species along the proposed path. There are other species of Old World trees that are scheduled to be removed that have stood since 1910. These trees have been proven by many environmental groups to not only assist with reducing carbon emissions, but also to assist with stormwater management in the absorption of thousands of gallons of water in their lifetime. The more mature the tree, the greater the absorption area. This is necessary on the Chestnut Ridge, especially after many homes in our neighborhood were damaged by groundwater flooding when the water table rose in April 2010. It was declared a disaster by FEMA. And it's imperative to not only maintain the trees, but also our current drainage setup, which removes runoff down Girard Road and off the ridge via the drainage ditch between Girard Road and the railroad tracks. Years ago, I have an old master plan from my dad. He was the old building inspector. The Route 322 freeway was supposed to follow the path of the current Route 55, then cut over onto Route 40, and then join back onto Route 322 Black Horse Pike. This was supposed to handle all the shore traffic traveling from PA. Why not consider this again? Alternate A can become that can become the Route 322 business alternate with less traffic, and folks could just access the downtown area via the intersection of that bypass and Main Street. The current road traveling through campus can then just be a regular road without federal highway status. This would then allow the use of smart signals and/or pedestrian bridges, tunnels, along with fencing directing foot traffic to make a difference in creating a safer environment for all. Girard Road could just be left alone then. But respectfully, Mayor and Council, I don't know the proper way to do this, but ultimately, it is the 6, possibly 7 of you that will have the final say over Proposal C by either the passing or the denial of Ordinance 2417. For without it, Proposal C cannot proceed. So we turn to all of you for help. We need you to represent us, the people of Glassboro, over all other entities. This includes those residing on the Chestnut Ridge. And even if you no longer live or have never lived in our neighborhood, we elected you to be our voices and to look out for our best interest. So we ask you to please deny Ordinance 2417 when it comes time to vote to preserve our historic and unique Chestnut Ridge neighborhood. Thank you respectfully.
Thank you. Good evening.
Council.
How are
My
you?
name is Daniel Price. I live on 117 Villanova Road. My house would be majorly impacted on this new project coming up. My house, I am a third-generation owner of the original house. I have the original deed dating back to 1901. My great-great-grandparents were some of the original establishments of Glassboro, set up the fire department, Andrew Stewart, and now you want to rip the heart and soul of Glassboro and take it away. My grandkids that come to my house and play, or down that street and alleyway, they drive by it. Oh, there's my mom and Pop-Pop's house. That there will never happen again. You're going to take families and destroy them. Some of the heart and soul of Glassboro will be taken away. When Leo McGade Boulevard is an option. 55 is an option. I don't understand why we're going to spend multi-millions of dollars to rip houses out of the ground, redo all these streets and everything, when you could spend a couple $1,000s and repaint McDade or the road by the hospital, Leo McDade Boulevard. I just don't understand why we're going to tear families apart here in Glassboro. Like I said, I'm a third-generation owner of the original house, and I'm just totally devastated. It hurts. It really, really hurts what I'm seeing going on. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
My name's Alan Norton. I live at 9 Franklin Road. I don't have a speech like my wife, but this is actually for council. This is something you guys can do tonight. It's supposed to be a safer alternative. I'm gonna go on behalf of the highway department, fire department, police department. I'm thinking of the workers. I know when I worked for the highway department for over 30 years, on 322, when there was a big chipper pile or a big trash pile, I would make sure there was a truck behind them to make sure that they weren't in danger so that they could do their job properly. When you leave tonight, do me a favor. Just go down the proposed road and look at the bulk trash that's out there right now, and you explain to me how trash trucks are supposed to do their job and not get hit and not have to worry about it. They say they're gonna slow traffic down. Let's not kid ourselves. We're in a college town. These kids do not slow down. These kids do not cross where they're supposed to cross. In the beginning of the semester, there's thousands that cross over into the ridge. Now they would have to cross over 322. It's not a safe way to do things. But again, I want you to think about your employees. They're your employees. That's your safety. All right, just take the ride down there. That's all you got to do at the end of it. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Alan.
Hi, my name is Francine Churchill DeFrancisco. Okay, I am also a third generation from Glassboro. My grandparents came from Italy to High Street. My grandfather owned all that property, sold all the house and property to them. Okay, I want to know, when I went on the meeting they had, this McCormick, they're telling me they're going to take 8 feet of my property. I would be stepping into the street, coming out of my porch. So, I'm raising 3 little grandchildren that are on High Street. They speed down that road now. I can't even imagine what it's gonna be like if you have all this traffic coming through. And then you have the college kids, you say for their safety, you know, they party and the police can verify this. They're on my street. It's all it is college kids on on High Street, the next block down. They party every Friday and Saturday night. They're always, you know, the way they are on the street, walking drunk, walking by themselves. And you're gonna have traffic like that. You're worried about 322 there, and then it's coming down High Street. What are they gonna do then? They're gonna get hit. They're saying they're not gonna get hit. They will get hit. So I just wanted to voice my opinion too. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, Council, good evening.
Good evening.
Andrew Thompson, 244 Marketplace. I'm actually here on another matter. We've had several issues, many issues over the years regarding Renland Park, as you may or may not be aware of. I'm actually here to thank Director Power, Park and Rec, and you guys for installing that gate. It seems to have made things quite better. We've had a couple of instances where people are parking in the street to enter the park, but I think overall it's definitely an improvement for the neighborhood. And I know I speak for a lot of my neighbors. We all kind of feel that it's going to make a big improvement. And while I'm here too, I want to publicly thank our workers, Park and Rec and Highway. They always do a tremendous job in maintaining those facilities and other places in town. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi.
My name is Regina Avial. I live on Deptford Road. I'm second generation.
Excuse
I've
me,
lived on the
Regina,
ridge.
would you mind, I'm sorry to cut you off, would you mind spelling your last name for me?
Aweau.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
I've lived on the ridge for 70 years, my whole life. All right, and I just want to, I agree with everything that's been said, all right? But my question to you is about another matter, all right? My question is, are you, the township, the school board, contemplating talking to or negotiating with Rowan University to to buy the high school? Okay? I mean, yes or no? That's the word on the street. The word on the street is that Glassboro High School is going to be sold to the university. Yeah. The borough is going to buy Brookside and build a high school behind Bow School. Now, if that's not true, that's great. But, and I can tell the people that are telling me this, no, I was told by council that we are not doing that, and that'll be fine. And stop the rumor where, as it comes to me. But I need to hear from you that you are not interested in selling the high school whatsoever. Because, I mean, I know there's like 518 kids in the high school. That was the last number that I could pull off in 2023. So, that's my question.
We have not been talking about selling the high school or Brookside or nothing. The answer's no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Tim, can you motion to people to speak into the microphone?
Sure.
Please?
I will.
Our clerk has asked if you could maybe pull the mic down when you speak, if it's not directly, just so she can properly get a recording.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening.
My name is David St. John. I live at 426 West High Street. And it just seems to me it doesn't make any sense at all to put a highway through a residential area when it already is running through an area that does not have that much residence on it. We all know it's just because the college doesn't want to have 322 run through their campus. I suggested during the virtual meeting that they put pedestrian walkways over the highway. The answer was the students would not use it. I say if the students don't want to use the walkways that they put over a dangerous highway and take their own risk, that's on them. But why are you putting our lives at risk running a highway through a residential area and, for God's sake, through the middle of your own town? What is the sense of that? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Good evening,
Good
council.
evening.
David Brunel, 421 Dickinson Road, 60-year resident of the Ridge in Glassboro. This is not new to anybody. There was a study done as far as back in the 1990s with council signing off on it in 2019 with the West End Regional Bypass Rerouting Project. Part of that was the plan that Rowan University master plan with consideration with 322. What Denise talked about and Mr. St. John talked about, railings and fencing as well as walking bridges were discussed then as an alternative. There's approximately 50,000 vehicles that run eastbound, westbound through the campus during the height. Sure, there's an issue coming into town. Try to get off the ridge is impossible unless you go through the backside. We need to have control devices coming into town, both sides. We do not want traffic going through a residential area. Commercial traffic, sure, run it down Leo McCabe Drive 55 as it was designed. We want people to enjoy Glassboro. We want people to visit downtown Glassboro, Town Square. Running that amount of vehicles down through High Street in front of people's houses. Unacceptable. Unacceptable to the Ridge, unacceptable to the residents that are still here, that have little kids. You don't want to walk out your front door on the 322. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody's ever in my life told me I can't hear you, but I'm going to use the mic anyway. I'm Nancy Polhamus. I live at 12 Franklin Road, just off of Girard. The part of Girard Road that is closest to my house is not going to be affected. However, what this project will do, if both of those options take place, which I understand is the plan, will sandwich my house between two highways, essentially. So, yeah, I care about that. And I would have to talk to a realtor to what it's going to do to the property values in our neighborhood. That's a good question. I know you can't answer that, but there are people possibly who can. But that's a consideration that's not brought up. I did watch the presentation that was given in May. I thought it was quite good. The maps were clear, the descriptions were clear. It seemed like they were making the best possible effort to answer everybody's questions. My main issue with that presentation was that I didn't know about it till it was over, and neither did a whole lot of people. Now, that question was brought up in the presentation, and the engineer said, well, we sent out 400 letters. There were 40 people in the meeting. That's why the question was asked. I don't know anybody on my block that got a letter. I can't imagine that between those two. So, some people have, I have found out later, but 400, where did they go? Why did so many of us who are affected not get that letter? So one of my questions, and you don't have to answer it right now, is who is responsible for sending those letters? I'm really glad you're having the meeting on July 10th. We will be there, and I hope that it will answer some questions. But in your postings on Facebook and in the municipal email newsletter, which many of us get, it mentioned that there was a lot of misinformation. I put it to you that the reason there's misinformation is because you gave us no information. I've said this in private and I'll say it in public. When no information is forthcoming, people create their own reasons and their own explanations. And those turn into rumors. And that results in a lot of what you're seeing here today. So that I put on you, because you could have used those venues, the email list, the Facebook page, to announce that May meeting, and nobody did. I went and searched for it online. It was very hard to find on the county website, but I did find it, and it was labeled Rowan Bypass, which tells me what the priorities here. There are two projects here, and I believe I understand it correctly, one of which involves Leo McCabe Boulevard and which will carry a lot of traffic down. My suggestion to you is to approve that one and see what effect it has on the traffic. Because the second project, Project C, has only one real beneficiary. The only thing that benefits from Project C is Rowan University. That's why it's called the Rowan Bypass. And the fact is, my experience here in the last 20 years is what Rowan wants, Rowan gets, regardless of what it costs the rest of us. I looked on, when I was searching for information on this, I looked at the borough website and didn't find anything about this bypass. But what I did find was a neighborhood preservation plan and a map that outlines the designated area. That's the neighborhood preservation plan. That includes the length of High Street from Whitney Avenue all the way to Delsey Drive. Right in the center of your neighborhood preservation plan, and exactly where this proposal would put 5,000 cars a day. I don't understand how preserving a neighborhood and creating a highway go together. For the last couple years, because I was asked to serve, I have been serving on the Glassboro Historic and Preservation Commission. And over those 2 years, I've had to ask myself repeatedly, is this a town that actually cares about history or cares about preservation? Because I'm not seeing a whole lot of evidence there in actual fact. So, what I will ask of you from going forward on this issue or any other is please put out information early and often. Most of us have the email newsletter. Most of us look at Facebook. You did a good job of letting us know about that July 10th meeting. You should have done that in April or May. And no matter what the project is, again, be reminded that no information from you creates rumor, innuendo, and misinformation that you ultimately pay for in the long run. That's on you. So I'm going to ask you, because what I see here, to quote a famous movie, what we have here is a failure to communicate.
If I may, that information about those meetings comes from the county. The information that came about the meeting for July 10th came from us because of an issue Ms. Polhamus and others said. How the county distributed the notices, I believe that they did it electronically. I don't know how they did it. However, regardless of how it got done, we understand that there were people, somehow the number of people that should have gotten it either didn't get it or weren't noticed. The borough then reached out to the county to say, hey, listen, we need another meeting because of all of the issues and the fact that people did not get it. So the borough is trying to do our job to make sure that you all are as informed as you possibly can be. But the earnest of noticing for this particular project comes from the county, because it is a county project. Excuse me, with all due respect, sir, I was just addressing Ms. Polhamus. We're still in the public portion. I need to afford anybody else that wishes to speak. Ma'am, I'll be happy to chat with anybody shortly after the meeting. I'll stick around, but I need to afford other people the opportunity to speak. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Irene Savicki, I live on Princeton Road. I've been here since 1974, that's a long time. I found out about what's going on here by word of mouth. Never received a letter. Granted, I'm a block in. However, my concern is if I'm going to this meeting July 10th and hearing a version of their proposal, are you guys gonna be there to hear the same proposal?
I will be.
I will be.
If I'm
I
not
hope
at
all
work,
of
I'll
you
be
will
there.
be.
If I'm not at work, I'll be there.
Love to see you guys there. The other thing is I heard a rumor, maybe it's a rumor, maybe it's a truth, I don't know, that you guys are willing to give away Girard Road from 322 to Pennsylvania. I believe that was somebody called me and told me this, so I am here asking you, are you protecting us, or are you just letting the county take what they want?
We're protecting you.
Okay, so we will know about if this road is going to them. Right now, it's us.
We practice, whether you believe it or not, transparency and open lines of communication. As soon as we get information that we can get to you, you will have it.
Okay, because I did call when I found out about what was going on. I did call the county, and they told me, are you in the eminent domain location? I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. And they go, well, I guess you're not involved, so you don't need to know what's going on. I said, is there a map that we should get, or I should? Well, no, because you are not eminent domain, you don't need to know. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that information.
Good afternoon, Mayor Wallace, and to City Council, and to Glassboro. My name is Darrell Badley Jr. I live at 19 Zane Street in your fine metropolis here in New Jersey. I am not from here. I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio. My wife, who is from here, actually was born and raised in the same house that we currently live in on Zane Street. The reason for me coming today is to introduce myself. I've met the mayor a few times. We are business owners here in Glassboro. My wife and I own several businesses and nonprofits. And what we want to do really is just to introduce ourselves and let you know who we are and that we are available. Myself, I own CW Radio. I will be actually launching a radio station here in Glassboro by the end of this year, beginning of next year. I also have a nonprofit foundation that supports veterans and veteran endeavors. I am a 100% SEAL veteran, so I am very involved in that aspect as well as small business expansion and growth. One of the things that I've been wanting to do, again, talk to the mayor about this, is even working with the county to bring a small business incubator to Gloucester County. Basically, what that is, for those who don't know, it's a office building that small businesses can come in and rent an office, but while they're in that office, they can also get help from like the SBA or like from the township or from the county or from the state, all of those things working hand in hand to be able to help small businesses grow and help entrepreneurs actually grow and be successful. Because as I've seen it even on the website, the township and the county, there's so many resources available, but if you don't know where to get them, where to find them, it becomes really daunting to try to do that as an entrepreneur. So that's one of the things that I want to be able to bring to the table as someone who's worked in DC and worked down in Virginia and in the military for the past 20 to 30 years. The final thing is I want to thank you all for all that you do and all that you're going to do for this town. It's good. My wife and I have decided we're going to stay here. This is going to be my final move. Thank you. I've moved almost 30 times since I joined the military, and all over the country and all over the world. But yeah, Glassboro is going to be home. So if and when you all need myself or anything like that, I'm willing to be here. I'm willing to serve. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make myself. What do you guys call yourselves? Glassborians or just Glassboro? Whatever the case might be. But yeah, so that's who I am, and that's what we got going on. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Teresa Badley. I live at 19 Zane Street. I am a graduate of Glassboro High School, graduated in 2005. My main organization is called Miss Lady Tweet LLC. Long story short, I am a human trafficking and domestic violence survivor and advocate and coach. And part of my story is while I was living at 19 Zane Street, I was assaulted by a family member that was not my mom or dad, but a distant family member. So I know what it's like to live and be in Glassboro schools and be someone that has dealt with what people deal with on a regular basis. I also know what it feels like to have been human trafficked as somebody who lives and has been right here in South Jersey. One of the things that I want to be able to do is to take my lemons and make lemonade. The way that I'm doing that is by doing events and doing different things in the community, both in the schools and in the public, to help bring awareness to all of the things that I've gone through. But more importantly, to show people that just because you've been through some horrific things that I've been through does not mean that you can't still thrive and be good in society and all of those great things. I'm trying to talk like her, just so you know. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm doing a comedy show here at the Landmark starting on July 3rd. And it's a comedy show series once a month to bring more activity and more things to Glassboro. You know, and again, laughter is a great medicine, especially when you've dealt with something that I've dealt with. So bringing laughter as a way of conveying my message, or just bringing awareness to my organization, is something that I've always dreamed about. We also look forward to working with any of the members of City Council or the mayor or even the community to help bring more activities for the kids or for adults or anything that we can be of help with. I'm also hosting a women's conference in October right here at the Marriott. Again, my goal as Miss Lady Tweet is to bring more things to Glassboro specifically. You know, I've traveled all over the world, and like my husband, I've traveled all over the world, but I want to make sure where I'm from gets all the same experiences that I've had, both with my husband all over the world and all over the country. I want to bring all of that back home to Glassboro. And I'll be so happy to answer any questions or anything that you might have later on in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I'm bringing John Wise, 114 East Avenue, Glassboro. I'm bringing another tree thank you.
Oh, we got it, yeah.
We got it.
I told you.
They did a good job,
Thank you.
but we had 2 more storms.
Yes, we did.
And
Yes,
this
we
one
did.
was in my driveway. My neighbors couldn't go to work because they were 2 doors down. And one of the gentlemen had a good guy. He came out with his chainsaw, cut enough to come around his yard and then go through my yard to go to work. So did the next neighbor. But I want to thank the highway department. I called and the tree was laying there. And she said, we'll send somebody out. So they sent somebody out, and he came out with his forklift and, you know, and did everything that he had to do. The tree's still laying there by the fire hydrant, but he did clean it up. And I just say, that's another tree thank you, and the job well done.
Thank you.
Okay? God bless all of y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Wise.
How you doing?
Hi.
Mark Vakizovich, I live on West High Street. Just
Mark,
to reiterate.
I'm sorry.
Go
Could
ahead.
you spell your last name for me?
It's VUKICEVICH. So just to reiterate what everybody says about the bypass project, I've been here almost 30 years, raised my son here, great town to live in. Over the past year, couple years, obviously, a lot of the houses on the block have turned into rental units. House across the street turned into a frat house, which is a problem on its own. But on the weekends, there are hundreds of kids at that house, usually impaired and wandering around the street like the woman spoke before. That's going to be a major safety issue if there's a county highway coming through with thousands of cars a day and trucks. Like to reiterate what she said before, my front door is only 10 feet from that, or 10, 15 feet from the street as it is. So you're going to widen it. You're going to have all this traffic coming right through my front door. There are families that have moved in, which is great to see, because that's what Glassboro is supposed to be, about families. It's always been a family area, a residential area that we live in. We're away from the college. I mean, the college is right down the street, but we're still in a residential area. So it's great to see that there was a family that moved in across the street. They have 2 little kids. I see her grandkids playing out in the street. There's another family that just moved in across the street that have 2 little kids that are playing in the driveway. And to have thousands of cars on a county highway where little kids are playing is just a major safety issue. And Rowan's worried about their, safety going through the designated area where it should be, a roadway that could handle that kind of traffic. To have it cut through our residential area is just insanity, in my opinion. I mean, we've been, a lot of us have been here a long time, and this is a residential area for families to grow up in, and lately it's all been about the college. And that's all I have to say. I'm sorry, I want to add one more thing. We also do have a major speeding issue in this town, which is an epidemic, especially on High Street, Girard, Whitney, 50, 60 miles an hour cars come down the street. And it's a major issue, and the cops can't be everywhere, but something needs to be done, because somebody's gonna get killed. There's been accidents at Holly and High, because people try to cross, and you got a car coming 50 miles an hour when the speed limit's 25. I know you mentioned Deptford Road, but it's all around town, and it's not just the college students, because it's summer, they're not here, and there's still people flying 50, 60 miles an hour down High Street, and it's a safety issue. It is a major safety issue. I don't know what can be done, but it is a safety issue. Just wanted to bring that you guys aware of that problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Linda Galashaw, resident of Glen Ridge Drive here in Glassboro. First, I just want to say what a honor it is to be a resident of this town. I've only been here a couple of years, but I'm completely floored by the services and the way you handle your government on a daily basis.
Thank you.
The longer I stay, I see, everything that shines is not all gold, but for the most part of it is beautiful. I was reading in the Smithsonian magazine that Glassboro has been selected as one of the 15 best townships to live in, and we're rated number 5. That's amazing, number 5 in the nation. So we carry a very good name here, although we have our little irks and complaints about certain things. Overall, the town is functioning very well and highly rated. I'm here today about the speeding also. I am off of Main Street, and the speeding at night, during the evening, I don't see any police visibility going into Pittman and coming more into Glassboro. There's a problem there on Heston, coming off of Delsey Drive and going across. There is a problem with the mall. I think it's the Dollar Tree Mall. I think that's what it's called. In the back, it is a clear, straight raceway for teenagers. They're racing at night in the back, and you can hear it just about all night. And it's through the week, it's on the weekend also. So I would like some more police visibility in that area. Another thing I came here for, I'm looking at the resolution you did tonight. I just have a question. The resolutions, you often call this the first number. Is there not any other resolution that begins with 180? Is that the only one? Because I don't understand why you just read the first 3 numbers. All your resolutions, you read just the first 3 numbers.
The 24 is the year.
Yeah.
Of the.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, the number, the 180 you're referring to is the number of the resolution.
The very resolution.
24 indicates the year.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Want to talk about the transparency also when it comes to some of these issues here that I was reading. And I know you do a lot of the work in the workshop or work session, but when you get here, there's no chance to make public comment about what you're doing or get a clearer understanding of the resolutions that you're passing. This one in particular I'm concerned about is the rental housing.
Which number is that, ma'am?
That's ordinance 2420.
And this is your opportunity to question anything you have. So
Right.
I just need to know what number we're referring to here?
The ordinance 2420, and I think it's
Oh, I
also-
see, okay, I'm on the wrong page.
I think it's another one too.
2420, this one.
Oh, yeah. I would love to comment on that, because I think everyone's gonna like it. As you all know, we've had a problem with student housing forever. We've seen these big things go up in the ridge, in the middle of neighborhoods. Under the mayor and council's direction, we put together a task force. There's a resolution first, part of this, that will go to the planning board, and what it will say is, you can no longer build anything more than a 5-bedroom house in Glassboro, except in 2 overlay districts, which we've already basically have lost. And that's from Maine up to the Sunoco station, and then from Carpenter up to Heston. Those areas are gone. Let's not kid ourselves. They're gone. So you can still build there if you find it, but other than, no one's coming to Glassboro who wants to build more than a 5-bedroom house unless it's for student housing. That's
Right.
why they're doing it, and they're building it in neighborhoods. So that's what the resolution is. That goes to the planning board, and then the ordinance is the same thing.
Beautiful,
Now,
beautiful.
I'm gonna tell you, are we gonna get sued? We're absolutely going to get sued. But we're trying it, and we're trying to fight it.
Well, do we have a limitation on rental in this town? Like, how much of the town can be rental property? Just
There's no limit.
Every,
ownership
single-family
occupied, you don't have anything on that?
You can't.
Can't.
legally, yep, cannot.
The thing we've done differently over the last year and a half, and I'd like to think it worked a little bit because we hear less complaints at the Ridge. We always gonna hear complaints. We've gone after landlords. We
Okay.
send a letter in the start of the year. Yes, we do. We brought them in. Okay, but that's what we've tried to do, go after landlords and hold them accountable. We have a meeting once school starts every Tuesday morning with the police department. We have a problem property list that we go through. If you're on that list 2 times, 3 times, we're bringing you in.
Oh,
what
that's
we've been
wonderful.
doing.
You are trying. Okay,
We're
I am
trying.
very much concerned about the rental property.
Yep.
I mean, rent here is, I think the average, someone said, was $2,700 a month. That's really ridiculous.
Oh, it's only
I
gonna
mean-
go, it's only going up too, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
And
very
I also want to say I am opposed to the policy C, Project C, the rerouting of the 322. I don't think it's a good idea. I sat here tonight with a few of the members, the residents of the town, and the suggestions that they have presented should be looked at again and considered, because it's a safer route and it's less insulting. And again, you know, at this point, I'm in this fight all the way with this. It's great that we handle business right here, we keep it quiet. I'd like to continue to do that, but maybe somebody else's eyes need to look at this at a point. Maybe we need to open this up to the state, because I don't understand how this college is taking so much land and building and not paying their fair share of taxes. We know that they're tax exempt, but now the burden is falling on the homeowners, like myself. I'm over $8,000, and I'm not in some huge mansion. And I don't understand, with all the strip malls and all the college takes, there's got to be something that we can do to get more money from the university. Because, again, they're expanding and our taxes are going up. Why? I don't understand why my taxes are going to go up.
Your
Thank
taxes
you.
did stay flat this year.
Excuse me?
Your taxes stayed flat this year.
Oh,
There
I
was
was
no
just
tax-
told when I pay my taxes that they're going up next
There
quarter.
was no tax increase this year.
From municipal.
From the municipal.
From the municipal level.
Yes.
Oh, from the
From what we
municipal.
govern, yes.
That's correct.
I love you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
I know I spoke, I don't know if anybody else has to speak, but what you guys are doing is absolutely right, but everybody here, the police can't do it. You have to call. And when they talk about the landlords and they're going after the landlords, they are going after the landlords. No, they're not.
Al, excuse me. Gang, I'm sorry. Can we can handle this after. This is a bit out of order.
Thank you, though.
Yep, yeah, we will. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else would like to come forward and address mayor and council?
Say no others, I will make a motion to close the public portion.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The public portion is now closed. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve all the duly authorized bills.
Motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve all duly authorized bills. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
Yes, Mayor, I like to abstain on PO number 24-02468. Thank you.
Mayor, I have an abstention also, 24-00844.
Thank you very much. Those abstentions have been noted. Motion still carries. Any closing comments from our administrator?
No, sir.
No, sir. I again would just like to thank everyone for coming out and expressing your concerns. To assure you that the goal of myself, this administration, and these council members is about the residents. You will have your chance, those that spoke on the bypass, you will have your chance to express all of your concerns again, and I can almost assure you that you will be giving a much, much clearer picture of what the true project really is. I wish everybody a safe summer as we move forward. Stay cool. Again, thank you. I encourage you all to keep coming back and keeping us informed. And with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you again, everyone. Our next regular meeting will be July 23rd, 2024, 6 p.m. Stay cool, stay hydrated.